see if I can get these. I guess these other lights don't work. Anyways. Yesterday I said I was gonna come back in and mop the floor and this and that. Well, I did not sweep and mop the floor. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm telling you. But anyways, at least the dishes are done. The counters aren't that messy. They don't got food and stuff with dishes or any of that stuff. So I'm gonna sweep and mop the floor today before I do anything else. It's not that big of a mess. The floor's not that bad either, but it is a little bit bad. I need to get my baby a costume. Some things to know about me. I'm in recovery. I used like I was addicted by the age of, I think it was 11. Before that, I smoked weed. I started smoking weed at the age of 8, but it was just like recreational. I just went and hung out with friends and, well, not friends, but anyways, I went and I smoked a couple times, and then when I moved to the hood, which is in Dallas, North Dallas. When I moved to North Dallas, then I met other people, bad influences. Most of them were older, and I tried cocaine because everybody else was doing cheese. And at that time,
The white stuff.
Like, oh no, I'm against that. That's disgusting. Everybody's dying from that. So I didn't want to do that. So I did. Somebody, an older person, bought me. He bought me cocaine, and I was doing that while everybody else was doing cheese. And yeah, so that was that. And then when I turned 11, I ran away from home. And when I ran away from home, and that person took me to this place where other people, I knew some of them, were using cheese. And I didn't do it at first, but after a while, once you're in that environment and every single person in there is doing cheese, finally I gave in. And after using it for, I think it was like, after using it for 5 days, I didn't know, but I was addicted because the police came knocking on the door because my smart self called my house to tell my mom that, hey, I'm okay and you don't have to look for me, which I'm stupid to believe that she wasn't gonna look for me. I'm shaking because I've never never shared this story, but I called to let them know it was okay finally, and they had already been looking for me. Well, anyways, the police tracked the number even though I had called private. I don't know how they still got the number. I thought I was doing something. I was being smart. And so the police came, knocked on the door. One of the people there answered the door, even though, mind you, every single person in that house had drugs on them, like on a plate in front of them and everything. And anyways, every single person in there had drugs. and they're like, oh, we're looking for this girl, and they're like, oh, we don't know who that is. They're like, we know who it is, and they closed the door and screamed to everybody that the police were outside. So I was like, okay, let me go to the door so they don't come in and everybody won't get in trouble. So I did that, and when I did that, I opened the door. I thought I was being so smart. This is me at 11 years old. They're like, you need to come with us, and if you don't come with us, we're coming in. I was like, do you have a warrant? From watching so much TV and movies and stuff. I was like, do you have a warrant? They're all like, oh, you're so cute, you're funny. Like, they were telling me, like, if they, like, you're funny, you think you know something, but you don't. So, the guy that I had started dating, or I don't even know if it was actually dating, he jumped off the balcony, took off, and it was horrible. It was horrible because that was somebody's home. Somebody's mother was in there. You know, everybody was in trouble because of me, because of my actions, because I ran away and I decided to go there, which they knew I was a runaway. The people in the house, but still, you know, I put people in my, like, I should not have done that. They arrested me and they took me to a runaway home. It was called Lita. And when they did that, they asked me, like, was I sexually active? Was I raped? Did I do any drugs? This and that. I was honest with them about everything. And they're like, what drugs did you use? I told them. And they're like, well, we have to put you in this room and you have to sleep. And you're gonna have to sleep. We're locking you in this room. This room had rainbows and everything on it. And that's when I realized that something was wrong. I didn't know yet until my mother picked me up. And when my mother picked me up, she was like, she wasn't even mad at me, so I knew something was wrong. For her not to be mad and for her to be really sad and crying, I guess, yeah, well, they told her what I had used and everything. And they told her what I had used, and when we got to the house, she's like, you're gonna be really sick, and I'm sorry, but I'll have to lock you in this room. And so she got up and she locked me in the room, and that's whenever I started withdrawing from using H, cheese, and I was withdrawing in that room for over a week, I think. At one point I thought about breaking the window, like not breaking it, but the window had locks and stuff on it, so I was like, I'm gonna break the window and go get out of here because I was so sick, but I stuck it out and I stayed in the room and I detoxed, and it was horrible, but it wasn't enough to keep me away from it, because I still associated with the same people, the same place. I still lived in the same place. I went to the same schools over there. It was very, like, everybody was doing it, and I chose to keep the same friends. But yeah, so that's my, like, introduction to the first time me using. So please, you know, love your kids and talk to your kids and ask them what's wrong and be involved, because the reason why I ran away, I had already been trying to run away. I was already, like, wanting to run away because I was so sad because my sister was pregnant, and I was this selfish child that was jealous of my sister because my sister was getting all the attention. I was like, that's not fair. She's getting attention just because she opened her legs and got pregnant. That was the thought of an 11-year-old. I was like, she's getting attention because she got pregnant, and what do I have to get pregnant to get attention? What I gotta do to get attention? So I feel like I was already suffering with depression, and probably not even depression. I was just sad and um felt alone, and but it's normal because kids go through that, especially whenever you're getting older. But as a kid, I don't know these things, you know. I don't know that, hey, you're gonna feel like that, and it's okay. Like, don't run away. It happens. Anyways, that was the worst thing I could ever do, because from then on, my life, my life was, my life went downhill because of that. I chose to go with someone I thought was a friend. This friend has passed away now. Her brother, her brother found her overdosed in the restroom, so she's passed away. It was a close friend of my grandfather's. It was a family member of my father, but this friend had already passed away. I didn't talk to them after this happened anymore. And yeah, it was horrible. But so now you know, like, where my use originated. So from 11 years old until I think 27 is how long I used. No stopping. Like, I didn't have the longest I stopped was about 5 months. I did 6 months in what is it called? In state jail. And the reason why it's only 5 months is because my smart self took drugs with me. So for the first, I don't know how long inside there, I was still using and everything. But yeah, the longest I had ever stopped in there. And as soon as I get out, I had a new chance to like change. But no, people call me. Once people found out I was out there, people were calling me. People that I'm calling friends, calling me like, hey, at first I was just drinking. Like, people were trying to help me. They're like, oh, you should just drink. And so yeah, at first I was just drinking, and that led to other stuff, because I was the person that you go to that could get that for you, what they wanted. So people were calling me for themselves because they wanted to get that stuff. And then finally, at 27, I finally decided that it was enough. I had lost so much, I had ruined my body, and finally decided it was enough. And I finally got clean. And now I'm 30 and I'm still clean. I haven't had any relapses, and I'm thankful because, like, I don't even think about using again. I do not. Like, I cannot. Anytime I have ever thought about drugs again, I'm disgusted. It gives me like, I'm disgusted. I want to throw up. Like, I'm nauseous thinking about it because of just remembering how I was, just remembering how I felt. Like, yeah. Hopefully y'all can hear me, because you're so far away. I don't know if you can hear me. But yeah, like, children, talk to your children, like, have them not feel alone. I felt so alone. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. I felt like nobody cared. And sometimes doing that won't even help. You know, I say this. You can be like the best parent in the world, and your child will still go out and mess up. But at least you know you did everything in your power to make that not happen, and it still happened. So you know that it's not your fault. You know, don't blame yourself, because if you really tried, you did everything you could, then, like, my mother went to prison. I tried to get clean while she was in prison. I finally told my oldest sisters, and my mom gave her custody of me, because in order to go to what is it called? To a detox center or rehab when you're a minor. In order to go to that, you have to have a parental consent. So she had to give custody of me to my oldest sister. I did like 5 days. I got clean, and then on my birthday, I called and made somebody pick me up because I didn't want to be there no more. I thought it was good. I was like, oh, I just need a detox. I'm good. Nope, it was my birthday, so I had to, of course, get fucked up. But yeah, that's my origin story. There's still like a lot of stuff that happened in between then and, you know, like, there's so much that's happened, like, between overdoses, hospital stays, getting somebody slipped something into my drink at a friend's house, like, going to jail, waking up in hospitals, like, so much has happened in between me getting clean and since I started, and what, like, so much. But I just wanted to tell y'all, like, how it all started. It may help parents that are, like, think that everything is okay with their child, or like what they can look out for. I can probably tell y'all more about that. What some of the things you can look out for. It's pretty embarrassing, like, even talking about it, but, you know, I think there's power in knowledge, and, like, it can help parents, like, that have fear that their children are going to use. It can help somebody that's going through it and lost hope think that, hey, I'm so bad on this stuff that I have no chance, absolutely no chance. I thought I was going to die using, like, I had already died so many times. Like, I woke up in the hospital and I was told, hey, you died on your way here, or hey, you need to stay here because you died. So many times of that, and I still signed the lease, the release. I signed the release form against medical advice. I still chose to do that because I was angry. Like, why did you save me? Or, why am I here? I don't want any help, and I want to go out and use again. Like, it's crazy that you can go through all that and still be mad at somebody that helped you. I woke up one time and the paramedics are like, we found you dead on the floor in a parking lot. We found you dead on the floor in a parking lot. Somebody called the paramedics. I was mad because I was like, I don't want to have to pay for an ambulance ride to the hospital. I'm not doing it. That's what I was thinking about, because I had already so many times ridden an ambulance that I already knew like it was a big bill for that. Anyways, the paramedic was so nice to me. He was like really sweet, no judgment. He genuinely cared. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna sign the against medical release thing. I'm not gonna sign that form. I'm gonna go to the hospital, because that guy was like, no judgment at all from him. So I ended up going to the hospital, and on my way to the hospital, I had went out again. I went out more than once, even though they had gave me Narcan. I still went out, like I still fell out again. It's crazy. So they had to administer that Narcan more than one time. I didn't even know I was gonna tell this story while doing this. But I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe somebody will hear this and, you know, see like, hey, if she can get clean. And I feel like I was the worst of the worst. Like, I had been told by, like, when I had went to rehab that first time when I was a little girl, one of the doctors, the psychiatrist, told me that he was like, hey, there's no hope for you. There's no hope for you, because you've already been using since, you know, before puberty. You've already been using since before puberty. What is this? And there is no hope for you, because those are the most crucial times, they told me. They told me that's the most crucial time when someone learns how to cope with life. That's when they get their coping skills. They know how to cope with stress. They know how to cope with, like, they get the tools. That's when they learn how to cope with stress. They know how to cope with their feelings. They learn how to cope with anger. They know how to cope with, like, fear. They know how to cope with the things like life. And you skip that. You used for as your coping mechanism. That's what you used. That's what you did. That's how you learned how to cope. So since you missed out on all that, it's too late. Like, there's no hope for you. You're gonna be using the rest of your life. And when he told me this, I was like upset, even though, you know, it was true. Like, all he was doing was being honest. all he was doing was being honest that he might have said it like his approach was a little bit like brutal. Like, yeah, I did miss out on those coping skills, but he was like, there's no way for you to learn. You missed out on those coping skills, that point in your life that is most important to a child, and the development of your brain. Like now, the chemicals in your brain are all like screwed up, and yeah, it was sad. But you know what? 3 years and I haven't looked back. I haven't decided to use again. I've made a mistake once in recovery, and that was the very beginning. I thought that I could still like be around it, and that was okay to make money, but I didn't use it. Like I had it in my possession, and I still didn't use it, which that's I'm surprised I did it, but that's how over of it I was. But I still wanted to be able to make money off of it. But I was over it, you know? Anyways, that's my story of how how I first started using, and then my life went downhill. My life went downhill from there. I hope that it can. I hope that I don't even know why I don't like people seeing my face because I feel very ugly. But anyways, I hope my story can help somebody else, and I have more stories about the life while I'm in addiction, active addiction, that I'll probably tell on here. I just gotta gain the courage to tell you guys, if I doubt anybody's listening. But thank you for listening and watching me finally clean my floor. I needed to clean it before I did anything else. Y'all have a blessed day.